It takes up the chase second. Tiz Happy trying his best on the outside, still in there third. Another three back to Pally Kitten there at the top of the stretch with Dream Away in front. Pally Kitten now becomes the late danger, coming swiftly on the outside. And here's Pally Kitten reading up the real estate with every stride as Smash It takes a narrow lead. Smash It, Pally Kitten, Smash It. It will be Pally Kitten from last to first to upset them in the speakeasy. Smash It ran to number one entertainment destination. And they're off. Pilot Commander gets the first call. Captivating Boy is up close and now up to take the lead. Red Pill comes away a joint third, racing on the inside of Schwartzmeyer. Then comes All That Glory between rivals fifth. Vlahos not quick away from there, 6 lengths off the lead. Wendelson is outside of him, and Rivoli is at the back of the field a half mile from home. And it's Captivating Boy in front, tracked nicely by Pilot Commander in second. 2 lengths clear of Schwartzmeyer, outside of Red Pill. Vlahos trying to inch up between that pair, has 5 to make up, less than 3 furlongs out. Another 2 back to Wendelson, a gap of 5 to Rivoli on the inside of All That Glory. Captivating Boy with a quarter of a mile to go, leads it by 3/4 of a length. Pilot Commander coming after him now in second. Red Pill running a good race, angling to the outside. Vlahos didn't fire in the final furlong. Pilot Commander has taken over, leaving Captivating Boy and all the others well behind. It's Pilot Commander, too good. Pilot Commander will cruise to a 3-length victory. Captivating Boy holds second. Red Pill third. Rivoli was fourth. Number one entertainment destination. All in. All out. Helga Brandt, well-funded, both out alertly. On the inside, She's the Law is joining the fray as well. And Interplay, in between horses, is up to take the lead. So it's Interplay, well-funded. She Be Boss now third. Helga Brandt is in fourth. Den of Iniquity is pretty headstrong in the early stages, racing just outside Fireman, who's in the yellow colors and 1 from the rail. Those 6 covered by just 3 lengths. Then comes She's the Law. Mizion has settled well, about 7 or 8 lengths off the pace. It's another 2 back to Bolt Broad, racing inside Sophisticate, and 2 more to Holly Go Quickly. They straighten up for the run down the backstretch behind Interplay, leading 3/4 of a length to Well-Funded in second. Then comes She Be Boss, Helga Brandt on the outside, and Fireman between those two at the half-mile pole. At the rail, She's the Law just inside Den of Iniquity. Mizion still on hold from Rispoli, gets a little nudge now, 7 lengths off the lead. A length and a half to Bolts Broad, inside Sophisticate, and Holly Go Quickly. Not much change around the far turn. It's Interplay, who's been there throughout. Helga Brandt, a clear-cut second. And now Mizion gets going. And Mizion, blue cap, circling up on the outside with big strides coming after the leader, Interplay, with an 1/8 to go. Mizion, though, is coming with every stride. And from the back, Sophisticate has surfaced late. Mizion blows on by and finishes with a flourish. Good-looking effort out of Mizion to score by 4. Sophisticate a rallying second. Den of Iniquity in a 3-way photo with Interplay and Bolts Broad for the rest. Starts the late pick 4. There's no show wagering. Scratch 2, 4, and 7. 25-minute Kirsten Bosch. They're all in line. And they're off in the Chillingworth to a very even beginning. Sweet Azteca, One Magic Filly is up close, and Kirstenbosch not far behind, just a length and a half off them, leaving Irish Wahine as the distant trailer. Down the back stretch, and Sweet Azteca leads the way, prompted by One Magic Filly, who's 3/4 of a length back in second. It's another 3 to Kirstenbosch, 2 clear of Irish Wahine. They're coming toward the half-mile pole, and Sweet Azteca, the way she likes it on the front end, getting some mild pressure from One Magic Filly. 4 back to Kirstenbosch, kept well off the rail in third. Set down now, trying to close the gap in Irish Wahine. 3 furlongs remain. Sweet Azteca and One Magic Filly. One Magic Filly has put her head in front. Now it's a neck in front. Sweet Azteca will need the counter. Suddenly, One Magic Filly is a half length to the good with 1/4 of a mile to go. One Magic Filly means business. Turns for home, and Sweet Azteca has no reply for her. Irish Wahine is, in fact, trying to get into second at the 8th pole. One Magic Filly, 3-length lead. Irish Wahine takes up the chase. It's One Magic Filly. She stepped up her game in tremendous fashion, winning the Chillingworth. Irish Wahine second, Kirstenbosch third, Sweet Azteca faded to fourth. Coming up next, the 2 in the gate. And they're off in the Rodeo Drive. And I Scream, You Scream began very smoothly and will go out and lead them through the opening furlongs. Be Your Best comes away in second, and Aspen Grove is not far behind in the center of the course, third, now guided a little toward the inside as I Scream, You Scream comes wide into the stretch, but is in complete control early. Opens it up to lead by 3. Be Your Best in second, and Aspen Grove and Juan Hernandez settle beautifully in third. They're followed by Lucky Girl. Beach Bomb is 5th, 5 lengths off the lead, racing 2 clear of Sunset Glory, and Hang the Moon is at the back. More than 10 lengths off I Scream, You Scream, who is prompted now by Be Your Best. Both went wide. I Scream, You Scream is very wide. Both times she's had an opportunity to do so. So she'll have to overcome herself. As Lucky Girl goes on with it, I Scream, You Scream, going further than ever before, is now able to settle in a tracking position. Another 2 back to Be Your Best in third. Aspen Grove on the inside, 4th, 6 lengths off this loose leader. They're followed by Sunset Glory on the inside of Beach Bomb and Hang the Moon at the back. They're coming to the half-mile pole in the Rodeo Drive. And it is Lucky Girl who has opened up 6 lengths suddenly on I Scream, You Scream in second. Then comes Be Your Best. Aspen Grove along the inside gets a little nudge now, 4th, has now over 10 lengths off this leader. In the meantime, Beach Bomb inches up just outside of her. Hang the Moon and Sunset Glory past the quarter pole for Lucky Girl. 4-length lead at the top of the stretch. I Scream, You Scream, trying to cut into the margin. And here's Hang the Moon. Hang the Moon is coming fast as Aspen Grove sneaks through on the inside. But it is Hang the Moon with the momentum. Hang the Moon, Aspen Grove. Hang the Moon from last under Kazushi Kimura to win the Rodeo Drive in convincing fashion. Aspen Grove was second, and then Beach Bomb finished third just in front of Sunset Glory. And they're off in the American Pharoah Stakes presented by DK Horse. And it's a very fast start for Getaway Car. And Citizen Bull has good speed too. So those two hook up right out of the gate with McKinsey Street tugging along the inside in a lineup of 4. Mischief River is 3 deep going into the first turn. Show of Force in between those two. And Emerald Bay went 4 wide around them, just 3 lengths off the pace. Start Mo Up is at the back of the field. So Citizen Bull gets an easy lead going on to the backstretch. Under a snug hold 2, has it a length and a half. Getaway Car lets him go in second. And McKinsey Street is looking for some breathing room along the inside right next to Emerald Bay in 4th. It's another 2 back to Mischief River, 5th, heading to the half-mile pole, racing 3 lengths in front of Show of Force, who just went by Start Mo Up. There's a half mile left to go, and Citizen Bull has it all his own way. Has it a length and a half to Getaway Car. Then it's McKenzie Street, still stride for stride with Emerald Bay. Emerald Bay takes third, 3 furlongs from home. Another 4 back to Mischief River, who's on the outside of Show of Force. Start Mo up is far back. They're coming to the quarter pole. Citizen Bull means business. Leads the way by a length over Getaway Car, who's trying his best to close the gap. 4 more Emerald Bay and McKenzie Street. Top of the stretch, Martin Garcia still hand-riding Citizen Bull. They've spurted 3 clear of Getaway Car, followed by McKenzie Street, who picks it up a bit late, coming to the 16th pole, and it's Citizen Bull with a 3-length lead. Getaway Car did his best, but was second best. Citizen Bull punches his ticket in gate-to-wire fashion. Getaway Car was second. McKenzie Street and Emerald Bay. They're in the gate. And they're off. Video Review and Kings Road are 1-2 out of the gate. Farley Hall came away with a bit of early pace, and Stingray Shuffle now moves up a joint third. Curvino settles nicely in fifth. He's followed by Game Warrior just in front of Legitimate. Unrivaled Hero is third to last. The 2 trailers, Uncle Dude and Coach Chuck, is at the back of the field. So it will be Video Review to set the pace, leads it by 2. Dream Trip for the favorite, Kings Road, tracking second. Then Farley Hall, a tugging third, while 3 deep. Curvino is at the rail, and Stingray Shuffle 5 off the pace in fifth. 2 more back to Game Warrior, who's a couple of lengths in front of Unrivaled Hero, inside and just passed by Legitimate. Then Coach Chuck just steadying ever so slightly on the inside of Uncle Dude. They have a half mile left to travel. Video Review still there. 3 parts of a length to Kings Road. Moving in from second, now within 3/4 of a length of him as they move into the far turn. Curvino is sharing third along the inside with less than 3/8 to travel. Farley Hall outside of him. Nothing left for Stingray Shuffle, who drops right out of proceedings. He was just passed by Legitimate as the field turns for home. Uncle Dude is widest of all. Top of the stretch, Video Review is hanging tough. Kings Road 1 pace, not getting to him yet, and Video Review with a 3-length lead. In the center of the course, here comes Uncle Dude. Uncle Dude is closing, as is Curvino, trying to get to Video Review. Video Review, Curvino and Uncle Dude. Here is the line. Uncle Dude up in time. Curvino's second. Video Review was third. Fourth between Game Warrior and Kings Road.
Hi, everybody, and a happy Sunday to each and every one of you. Delighted that you decided to spend all or part of your day with us. We've got an excellent 10-race card highlighted by a $19,000 Super High Five Care River in race number 10. Nobody hit it in yesterday's last race, so that means it's good news for those of us who play the Super High Five. $1 minimum only offered on the last race of the card. And because it's Sunday, you know, I was born in the mean streets of Chicago and raised as an Irish Catholic. So Sunday meant confessions. So I'm here to publicly confess to our seminar guest today that I'm sorry. That's because I didn't know when I invited her earlier this week that it was her 10-year anniversary date today. So I hope she accepts my apology. Her name, Michelle Yu. Michelle, happy Sunday and congratulations on your 10-year wedding anniversary.
Thanks so much, TQ. That's all right. No problems at all.
You had to work anyway, right? I just feel like I kind of imposed on your sacred free time.
We could have gone and had like a brunch or something, but that's all right. No problem.
You do run 2 horses today, so thank you for accepting my apology. Now let's rewind the tape, so to speak, and look back 10 years ago today, because lo and behold, in Northern California, you and your husband Ryan Hansen got married. We've got documented proof to prove it right there. What do you remember of that afternoon?
Oh, everything. I mean, I remember everything of that afternoon, from the morning and drinking champagne. And like, actually the venue was a empty venue. So we had to bring in everything, every chair, every table, every plant, I got drinking glasses for everybody and set them up on a ladder. So you got your drinking glass for the day.
Is it a vineyard? What is it? Like what, what's the
it's
setting?
Kind of like it's a barn, like a big old barn. And then there's like a vineyard there. And we took a train ride around the property. Like the doors behind my brother-in-law, who's standing up at the top right now. We got those and we made them into like the frame that we got married in front of, like a huppah kind of. And we still have those, but we literally had to bring in everything down to the toilets,
including FanDuel TV Mike Joyce right there in the
Mike
background
Joyce right
as well.
There, yeah.
Right? Okay.
Zoe Cadman was at the wedding. Our very
He's
own.
not even paying attention. He's drifting off, looking somewhere else.
He's definitely looking at one of my bridesmaids, who he just happened to be married to now, Dina Fracca.
Of course.
And then what else did we bring in? I mean, everything. We brought the party. We brought grilled cheese trucks and games, and Zoe was there, and John White and Brad Free, and It was fun. It was actually only like 60 people. It wasn't very big.
Now, since then, you've had 2 children, of course, Olivia and Spencer. Tell us a little bit about them. How old are they now?
They're terrible.
What grade? What grade are they in? You don't have any gray hair yet, so they can't be that terrible.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Let's see. Olivia is 8 and going on 20. And Spencer is 5. He's about to be 6. And Olivia is into sports and cheerleading and horses and is a complete...
Kind of like her mom.
Totally like her mom. Yeah, loves musicals and sings and dances terribly all the time, which is just like me. She got that from me. And Spencer is 5, about to be 6, and he likes knights and fighting and football, and he also likes musicals.
And horses.
And he likes to come to the races, right? Olivia wants to do more horsey stuff. She's got a pony. She rides. Spencer's like, I love to come to races, bet for me, and let's cheer. He likes to pretend he's a jockey. He has his little horse that you have to call races for him all the time. We were actually out the farm right before I came here, and Olivia was out driving one of our babies, and Spencer did get on a horse today.
How many horses are on your farm?
So it's not our farm. We just rent the stalls there and use it for our yearling pre-training. But right now we've got 4 yearlings here for pre-training. We've got another 4 in Kentucky that need to come, and we've got another 3 that are on tap, ready to come down.
And you were active at the sale in Pomona just a few weeks ago.
Yep, definitely. The 4 that we have right now all came from the Pomona sale. The 4 back in Kentucky all came from the Keeneland sale. And, OBS October's coming up, TQ. There's a couple horses in there I wouldn't mind taking home as well.
Speaking of good memories, a week ago Saturday, we had the California Crown on track. Forgetting about the racing, which was excellent for a moment, what was your impression of what we did on California Crown Day to make it such a different type of racing day?
I mean, I just thought it was a really fun atmosphere. And I think the biggest complaint for people when they come is, what do I do during the races, in between the races, right? Like, I know during the race I'm going to yell and cheer, but then that 28 minutes, what do I do?
Sure.
And we chocked it full of things to do. There was food trucks, there were photo ops, there was Meet the Clydesdales, there was obviously live music, there was the DJ, there were little pop-ups, there was basketball from Dave and Buster's. There were so many things to do, and then you're like, oh, it's already time for the race again. So there wasn't that downtime that you tend to have. Plus, I got to go visit up in the boxes, and like when you bought your ticket for the boxes, food and beverage were included.
Yes.
This is the best part. You just sat there. The guys brought trays of food out.
Or if you walked around in the mezzanine, you could just pick off different things at the service counters.
Yes, but
like
I am
sliders.
lazy. So like it was amazing. I had like one off race. So I'm like sitting there, and all of a sudden this guy comes up. He's like, filet mignon or short rib, ma'am. And I'm like, Yes, the whole tray right here. Thank you. A glass of champagne. Well, no, I'm working, but thank you also. Like, it was just really great service. It was super fun. And I like that we catered to kind of both audiences, right? The racing concentric audience and then the non-racing audience. They all came and they had a blast.
We had some good concert acts as well.
Oh, yeah, we sure did. Now, to be fair, I didn't really get to hear Shabuzi at all.
He was awesome because he started off at first at 4:10 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, I was
he has the
on
Billboard.
air.
You know this, but he has the Billboard #1 song for the last 11
Pour
years.
me double shot of whiskey.
It was awesome.
It was really good.
Griffin
was great. And honestly, I've seen Frank Walker like 8 times now at like all of our different first events. He's so good because he mixes like the 80s and the 90s music with like popular music. He makes it all like dancey. And I mean, even Ryan, who is just like kind of a bah humbug when it comes to like DJ music, was like, this is really good. Like, he got into it. We had so much fun. We invaded Doug O'Neill's suite and kind of took it over. And it was the best spot to watch the afters.
It not only was a lot of fun, Michelle, but the handle was a big increase as well. We handled 17 million in totality, not including the 5 million that was wagered in Hong Kong, which was a separate pool as well, which was a great first step to try and integrate California racing around the world. We're going to have another great day of racing today, an excellent 10 race card on tap, as I mentioned. But before Michelle looks at any of those 10 races, we're going to toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail on the turf is at 20 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first, start of the 50-cent early pick 5, there are no changes. Race 2, start of the early pick 4, scratch number 7, Golden Temper. Race 2, take out the 7. No scratches or jockey changes in race number 3. Fourth is the grade 3 Surfer Girl, just a blinker note. Middle pick 4 begins with race 4, the Surfer Girl Stakes. In the 5th race, start of the $2 pick 6, there are no changes. Race 6, scratch number 2, Sweet Gem. Race 6, take out the 2, the all-turf pick 3 on races 6, 8, and 10 begins with race number 6. In the 7th race, no changes. The 8th, the Zuma Beach Stakes, just the blinker notes that are listed. $3 late pick 3 starts with race 8. There are no changes in the 9th. $5 late double starts with race 9. And in the 10th, super high 5 wagering offer. There's $19,900 in that carryover. Scratch 11 and 12. Super high 5 offered in the last race only. Those are the changes on today's card. We're 58 minutes away from the opener. Back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's guest today is Michelle Yu.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Michelle Yu. She's, of course, the Sandia simulcast co-host as well as an analyst. She's going to be on the gate today. She's going to give us her last-minute impressions of the horse's physicality as they get closer to the starting gate. What things do you look for, Michelle, when they come to the starting gate? Like, are you looking at, obviously, it's going to be a hot day today, by the way, so some horses might wash out that necessarily don't do so. But what type of personality traits do you look at with the horses as they get closer to the gate?
Personally, I like to see a horse that's been turned loose from the pony. I mean, unless there's a reason not to, like an older horse that you might know is a little bit too hard to handle. But I like to look for a really good warm-up, especially if I think the horse wants to be forwardly placed, or say they broke bad last time or something. I want to see the jockey doing something to make that horse more aware that, hey, your job is up and coming right now. So I look for that. I certainly look for a horse that's paying attention, especially if we're talking about a first-time starter. I look for body condition if we're talking about not only a racing horse, but like a horse that's coming in off a layoff. I want to see if they look chunky or if they look really fit or whatnot. So something like that. And there's honestly there's times the horses just catch my eye for no reason. I can't stop looking at them, right? Because when we start, they're way far away from us. And so I'm like, ooh, who I have to look at right now? So depending on where the gate is situated, sometimes it's a far off glance at them and I have to see who catches my attention. And I have to finish my fantasy football team before these games start.
Olivia never had a chance now watching sports with your passion, right? As you're looking at your
so
phone.
nervous.
That's okay.
Okay, Okay, it's done.
It's finished? Okay.
Yes,
Who did
I
you
just
pick,
had to
Kelsey
switch.
or Kittle?
I ended up with Kelsey.
You did? Okay.
I did. Yeah.
So
I called in the A team as far as the advice goes, and he told me Kelsey. And so when you ask for advice, you can't go against what someone tells you.
And you got to go to the experts. Speaking of experts, as you well know, Michelle, we've got some new wagers here at Santa Anita, both the $5 late daily double with a $5 minimum, and also the $3 late pick three with a $3 minimum. The reason why I wanted to remind players that we have this is because these wagers have been enthusiastically embraced. You know that I'm a numbers guy, Michelle, and here's the numbers. Last year, during the first 5 days of the autumn meet, the 50-cent pick three in totality handled $728,000. This year, with the $3 pick three, $898,000. That's a $170,000 increase in that late pick three pool just in the first 5 days alone. So the players are enthusiastically embracing that wager. Likewise, with the $5 late daily double, last year was a $2 double. First 5 days handled $675,000. This year, $831,000. So an increase of $155,000. They're two great wagers because let's face it, higher minimum, lower takeout, as we well know, means a better payout. That's why the players like it.
I can absolutely see. And you made the players even happier bringing back the $2 pick six. Not myself, because I'm too poor for the $2 pick six. But I know a lot of people very happy about that as well.
You're absolutely right. Those pools have been great. Yesterday's pick six paid in excess of $22,000. That's why players want to play these exotic bets, because they want to make a bet. And of course, you're right. $2 pick six is expensive, but it's supposed to be a hard wager to hit. And when you do hit it, you're supposed to get payoffs like $22,000.
Yep, exactly.
Let's see if we can find any $22,000 payoffs on today's card. Kicking things off, Michelle, in race number one with the 50-cent early pick five. We're kicking things off here coming down the hillside turf course. The rails stood air at 20 feet. This is just a straight allowance race. Non-winners of one other than. We've got a field of 8. The original morning line favorite on the bottom, number 8, Central Dispatch, who is 5-2, currently 9-2. But the one the players are gravitating to is one of 2 3-year-olds in the field. Number 4, Oscar Joy, who's now 5-2 on the morning line. Talk to us about race 1, Michelle.
I didn't use the 4 or the 8. You wanted to kick it off with the price TQ. I liked the 3 in here, who was 15-1 on the morning line, sitting right now at 7-1, so half of that for Dan Blacker. And look at. I'll be fair. This horse didn't run a step in either of the 2 stateside races, but I think the important thing is the turn back in distance here. Coming down the hillside turf course, I think, especially now that he has some foundation into him, really should run a big improved effort. I feel like Antonio Fresu's been riding extremely well. So I put Simplicity on top there. And then I like the 7 News at 10 for John Sadler, another horse on the turn back in distance and had run pretty well off of the bench down at Del Mar going 5, despite not breaking great. And I feel like this middle distance is really going to suit well. I'm just going to draw a line through his stateside debut where he was a speed and fade going 6, came off an extended layoff, shipped over here, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be more, I think, what he wants to do. And Kazushi gave a hell of a ride yesterday to multiple horses.
Including the Doug O'Neill winner winning the Speakeasy Stakes at a big price. Absolutely.
Yep. So I'm going to go with News at 10 as well. Those are my top 2 picks for the opener.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're still on the turf course. This time we're going 2 turns, 1 mile the distance for fillies and mares. It's a starter optional claiming a race and scratch the 7. Golden Temper leaves us with a field of 6. Maury Lane favorite number 6, Nancy Griffith, who's 5-2. This is one race. This is the first of 2 races where your husband saddles a horse today. It's number 3, September Magic, who is going first time turf. And we don't need any long-term memory or remembrances of the last time your husband did this. Runner by the name of Invest-A-Lot back on September 5th at Del Mar, exited a dirt sprint, went 1 mile on the turf course down at Del Mar. Lo and behold, hit the finish line first at odds of 11-1. Can we expect a similar effort today from September Magic?
I'm not sure. I mean, the difference with Invest-A-Lot was certainly 2 things. First of all, we knew he wanted to route, and second of all, he was by Sir Prance-A-Lot. So
Yes.
I was expecting him to really flourish on the turf course. I think Sir Prance-A-Lot's like 18 or 20% first time on the grass for his offspring. So here we have a little bit of a different situation with her being by Audible. I feel like the Audibles have just not been reliable on anything. So it's kind of like, let's see if she handles it or not. We're also going to be going a route of ground for the very first time. And the reason we're running her the route of ground is because in that last race, she didn't get to the front and she got a ton of dirt in her face and she was not a happy camper about it. And she pretty much just spit the bit and was like, this is not fun. So by stretching her out, we're hoping that she can be more forwardly placed because they're going to be going a little bit slower. And the grass is surely just a question mark. I had talked about Kazushi earlier. The reason he didn't ride back that horse is because they had the rescheduled King's Plate Day. And so he was not able to ride back. So JJ picked up and JJ stays on. But it wasn't like we took Kazushi off that horse.
And you brought her back quickly in 14 days. Now
yeah,
she
there was
comes back.
nothing else in the book for her that was going to suit her. And so it was like we just kind of have to run and we have to sit on her. So yeah.
And blinkers come off as well.
I couldn't tell you much about the blinkers off. That would be a husband question. I'm not supposed to talk about things like that.
And the dam cost $250,000 at auction. So certainly a well-bred daughter, as you mentioned, of Audible. But you're going in a different direction. You like the mare drawn right inside of her, number 2, Sweet Vengeance. Tell us why.
I do like Sweet Vengeance, even though she's a 1-for-8 filly. I thought she ran really well last time. I know that she's going to like the grass because that was a good effort on the turf. I think she suits at the level. She finished right behind Nancy Griffith, and Nancy Griffith's going to be her favorite. So if you can get a little bit better price on her. Plus, she's an older mare, which I always like. I mean, September Magic is just 3. And even though we're at the tail end of the year right now, I still always look for that. And she's got a lot more racing experience. So she should have plenty of kind of residual fitness, I guess we'll say. Plus, you're going 3rd, start off a layoff, which is a form cycle I really like.
Race number 3 is for the babies. 2-year-old fillies, maiden special weight, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Field of 7, Maury Lane favorite. Cash Call putting the blinkers on for trainer Bob Baffert. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Michelle, let's watch the replay, not only for both Cash Call, but also Aunt Mo and the filly on the bottom, Pura Vida Princessa, who's adding blinkers today for trainer Doug O'Neill. As we watch this replay, those 3 runners are going to break from post positions 2, 10, and 6 in that sequential order. You'll be able to figure it all out once you listen to Trevor Denman call the field. So let's go back and watch the replay from September 8th and watch these 3 maiden fillies in action.
And away they go. Off awkwardly was Clapping Trees. Practical Dream fast. Alanis on the inside. Those 2 fly early. Here's Cash Call coming through 3rd at the rail. Pura Vida Princesas alongside of her. On the far side is Aunt Mo, 6 off the leaders. Then we drop back to Practical Dreamers in behind those 2 down at the rail. Whirlwinds, a good 14 lengths off the leaders, and then Miss Sorpresa. They run past the 3/8 pole now, and Practical Dream now going on with it. Alanis is along the inside. Now Cash Call is asked to go. And here comes Cash Call now to take them on at the top of the lane. But it is still Practical Dream in front. Cash Call is only a length behind now. Running on late is Aunt Mo. Aunt Mo's coming home gamely as well. And Pura Vida Princesa joins the fray on the outside. Suddenly it's wide open now. It's Practical Dream hanging on. Practical Dream keeps on going. He's keeping Cash Call at bay. And Practical Dream is going to win it. Practical Dream has won it about 2.5, 3 in the end. Cash Call finished.
Michelle, those 3 runners finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The runner on the outside, Pura Vida Princesa, didn't change leads. That's the one on the far outside, galloping out in front along with Aunt Mo. Aunt Mo had some trouble at the start as well. It's interesting to watch the replay simply because that was all 3 fillies' debut effort, first time they ever raced. Now, Think back to that replay when Pura Vida Princessa didn't change leads. And now there's been one workout by the trainer Doug O'Neill's barn for Pura Vida Princessa. It's actually with blinkers on over the training track. And courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com, let's watch that solo workout on September 22nd for Pura Vida Princessa. And I really like this work, Michelle. You watch a lot of workout videos as well. What I like about it is, first of all, as she turns for home, well, I should say one thing is it's a bullet workout, best of 43 for the morning.
And it's fast.
It is fast. You can just tell by the camera
especially
speed.
for a 2-year-old.
Correct. 46 and change. But as she turns for home in a few seconds, you'll see that she switches leads on cue. There's also another runner who's kind of going to be galloping right in front of her. And as they get closer to the wire, you're going to see she gets very tenacious, digs in, and actually passes her as well. So here's that runner I was referring to. First things first, let's make sure she changes leads, which in fact she does right on cue there. She is wearing blinkers. Now she's going to go inside of this other workout horse on the training track and really dig in past the wire. And I just think the improvement from start number 1 when she didn't change leads now to start number 2, particularly with this outside post, makes her a live long shot at 6-1. I know you like her, but you also like the Baffert runner a little bit more.
Yeah, I did like the Baffert runner. I mean, watching that, it makes a lot of difference. Now, I have to be quite frank. When I am doing the gate, I try to handicap a lot less, and I don't watch a lot of workout videos and everything because I really want to give just like my perspective. And if I watch a lot of videos or I do too much deep handicapping or I watch replays, which is all the things I do when I'm on the desk, it really hinders just kind of like what I see. So I purposely—
You have preconceived notions, because I have the same thing in the paddock.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a clear mind when I see the horses walk by rather than be shading one way or another because of something I saw in video
because
previously.
now I watch that and I'm like, oh, I should have played her. And I like back myself up because like, it's like, well, hold on. That's not how we handicap today because we have to, it has to be a little bit lighter just because I'm going to be out there and I want to get the visuals on the horses. I ended up with Cash Call here because I thought she ran a really good race despite the fact that she had some serious issues. And hey, when it came down to it, did she have a chance to win? Sure, she didn't get it done. But also anytime that you're going to hit the gate and you still run well, I think that's a big positive. She's also going to add blinkers here. And Bob's 25% first time with the hood on. Plus Mackenzie is just having a hell of a weekend right now, if I can say that. I mean,
so is Justify, by the way. Those
is
two,
he? Is Justify having another good week? I mean, for him, it's just every
worldwide,
week.
right?
Yeah, worldwide.
Unbelievable.
But Mackenzie had 2 winners in New York yesterday, stamping their tickets into the Breeders' Cup for the juveniles. So I think that Cash Call stands a great chance here. But watching the work for Pura Vida Princessa, I would say she looks like a solid back in there. And I do want to point out that the 6 Rose A in this field is a half sister to Senor Buscador. So this is the next kin of Rose's Desert for Todd Fincher. It's really cool that we get to see her debut here. She does have some pretty snappy little works as well.
Race number 4 is the first of 2 stakes races on today's card. Also on a 10-race card, race 4 begins a 50-cent middle pick 4, and race 4 goes as the Grade 3 Surfer Girl Stakes for 2-year-old fillies traveling 1 mile on the turf course. A field of 6. The heavy morning line favorite, fresh off a stakes victory down at Del Mar, is number 5. Thought Process 2-5 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Michelle, how cool is it? I don't know if we're going to do it this year, but in years past, we award the surfboard for both this race and the Zuma Beats. That is one of the more cooler winner's circle presentations that I've seen anywhere around the country. I'd love to have that, like in my trophy room, so to speak, if I owned horses.
Do you know, maybe 2 years ago at the Jockey Karaoke, they auctioned one off. I think it went for like $7,000.
I bet it's cool, right?
Yeah,
it's so
it's really
unique.
cool.
It's so unique. Hopefully they'll continue that tradition this year. Is Thought Process and Little Red Feather going to get the surfboard?
I think so. I mean, look, if she doesn't, it would be a surprise. But these are 2-year-olds, right? And we are at a new racetrack, and we're trying something different when we come to a new racetrack. So who knows? But she was so convincing in both her maiden score and the juvenile fillies turf. I think it's definitely her race to lose. You see her form flattered by Sea Runner coming back on, I think it was Friday, to break her maiden for Tim Yakteen. That's the younger sister to Johannes, by the way. So I think it is Thought Process. Underneath, though, I want to use Casalou because going into the juvenile fillies turf, Casalou had worked one of the best works at Del Mar on the grass I had seen the entire meet. I mean, mind-blowing. I saw her work and I like chased Bob down. I'm like, that filly worked so good. He was like, shh, shh. And then he didn't work her on the grass again. She didn't run as well as I was hoping that she did, but maybe this second time at the mile on the grass, something will change. But I can't leave her off because she worked too good to ignore.
And Cassaloo is that rare filly. Take a look at her auction purchase price compared to the stallion fee or the stud fee. 119 times the stud fee. You knew that they loved the way Cassaloo looked at auction. Hopefully she can make a return on that investment in today's Surfer Girl Stakes. Race number 5 begins the traditional $2 pick 6. No carryover, but the pools are always big. And I do think it's a tough sequence today. We kick things off for $25,000 claimers going 1 mile on the main track. Field of 7. Morning line favorite down on the inside for Craig DeLassy, number 1. Excuse me, Wind 99, who's 9-5 according to Jeff Siegel. What's race 5 according to Michelle Yu?
I think this is actually a really challenging race. The open races going a mile are so hard. So I ended up going with the 7 on top, but not with a ton of conviction either. This horse has kind of been all over, and sometimes he'll show up and he'll run an absolute blinder and win by 10, and sometimes he's in the back by 20. So it's really hard to know what Nauvoo will show up. He is coming out of a good effort, going the mile at this class level. So he should run well, and hopefully you'll get an okay price on him. I also like Saquel for Vladimir Serin, who was a $16,000 claim last time out over in Churchill. So he steps up in class today and also turns back in distance. So he went the mile on the 16th there, but that's just the barely 2 turns at Churchill Downs, the way their configuration is. So I think he actually should suit here. He can be really forwardly placed. I think that's never a bad place to be when you're at Santa Anita. So those 2 horses, my heart will be rooting for Moody Jim, but I honestly don't know if he's going to pick up his feet at all on the main track.
Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It also begins the $3 all turf pick 3. And we kick things off, of course, sprinting on the turf course, 6 furlongs the distance for maiden special weight, fillies and mares. 1 scratch, the 2 Sweet Gem will not compete, leaves us with a field of 7. Not a Sinner, who has had plenty of chances, is the 5-2 morning line favorite from the Simon Callahan barn. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, Michelle?
I'm going to go thumbs up for her. Like you said, she's had plenty of chances, unfortunately, but she's made nearly $100,000 running seconds and thirds. So I, wouldn't be upset if I owned her, that's for sure. Last time out, I'm going to give her a pass. I think the 5 furlongs is just too short. You go back previously when she tried 5 earlier on in 2024, and she was beaten 4 lengths that day. I just think they go too quick when they go that short. So here going 6, I think it's a little bit more of a comfortable pace for her. So I like Not a Sinner. I think she can graduate today. The other horse I liked towards the outside or on the outside was the 8 Blister in the Sun. Much improved effort for her last time out, getting back on the turf course. And I do think a little bit more ground is actually going to help her. She doesn't want to be as far back as she was. She got a nightmare of a trip last time. Third started off a layoff, and Ricky Gonzalez has been running very well trying to pay for that wedding.
When is the wedding, and are you invited?
April.
Have the invites gone out yet? You're invited. Let's face it.
I'm invited. I got my save the date. Yeah.
Okay. And it's let's just say in San Diego County. Is that where it's at these days, or did they change the location?
No, I don't think so.
I don't want to give all the secrets away.
Yeah, I don't think that. I'm just going to show up.
Sure.
I'm going to do what Jessica tells me to do.
Save the date. 1 and 8 in race number 6. So says our seminar guest, Michelle Yu. Let's turn the page. Take a look at race number 7, which begins the 50-cent late pick 4. 6.5 furlongs on the main track for Calbred 2-year-olds, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Field of 8, morning line favorite on the bottom, number 8. I'm a Bad Boy from the Luis Mendez barn, 2-1 on the morning line. Earlier, you talked about your responsibilities at the gate, Michelle, and you wanted to see how jockeys were treating horses who maybe broke poorly. Well, here's a case with number 1, Shea Brennan. First 2 career starts, broke poorly, easy for me to say, both times. Now, hopefully dropping back into an allowance race out of a stakes race, although drawing the rail. Maybe he'll break well today, but that's no guarantee.
No guarantee. I'm sure they're not thrilled to draw the rail. Phil doesn't like the rail anyways, and with this horse having gait issues from before, could certainly be a bad thing, but I like him anyways. He's going to be my top selection in here.
I do too, by the way.
Going to be getting aboard, stretching out in distance. I think it's going to help him because he doesn't have a ton of early speed, although that could be circumstantial with him just not having clean trips either. But if he does break sharp and he gets over to the lead, at least he has the shortest path around there. You get this horse for a very, very savvy trainer who had a great day yesterday. So for me, he is my top selection. I also like the 4 Style Cat for Peter Miller, who was a maiden winner 2 back and then ran very well behind Podacious, who was a super impressive winner of the I'm Smoking.
Race number 8 begins one of the new wagers that I spoke about earlier with the graphic. The $3 late pick 3 with the low 15% takeout kicks off in race number 8, and it's the second stakes race on today's card, the Grade 3 Zuma Beach Stakes, 1 mile on the turf course, $100,000 guaranteed purse for 2-year-olds. We've got a field of 8. Uncle Efko not only supplemented to the race, but a first-time gelding. But Iron Man Cal from Little Red Feather, they have a chance to win 2 surfboards today, don't they?
Either they're going to be so happy with me or Billy is not going to talk to me after picking all of his horses, right? Depending on how my day goes.
So you tipped your hand. You're picking Ironman Cal to win
Ironman
the
Cal.
Zuma Beach?
Yep, I like Ironman Cal. I thought he was so impressive last time. You just know he wanted that route of ground. And once he got it, I thought he looked lovely. He was a much the best winner over Kings Road. Now, his form has not been flattered because Kings Road came back to run third or fourth yesterday, but definitely didn't win, and he was at the 4 to 5 favorite. So that would obviously be a drawback, but I do like Ironman Cal. He certainly showed that that is what he wants to do, so he stands a really excellent chance, I feel like, to double up. And then I also like the 5 Artelas for Jeff Mullins, who is undefeated, 2 for 2. Not a very fancy bred horse by Catalina Cruiser, but certainly has found out what he likes, and that is a mile on the turf course. And I know Pete really loves Sabretooth, who's the maiden in here. So I'm all right if my horse is better than Sabretooth.
And look at the jock who rides your second choice. Raylu Gutierrez, the only mount on today's card. He comes back in from upstate New York. Good to see him back in town. He rode very well during the Del Mar Summer Meet. Race number 9 begins the $5 late daily double, the other new wager in town. High minimum, lower takeout with a 15%. Obviously comprises the last 2 races on every day's card. And we kick things off for that wager in race number 9, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track for $20,000 claimers. Non-winners of 3 races lifetime. A good field of 9 here in a competitive field. Number 1, Honeymoon Suite, second off the long layoff for the aforementioned Jeff Mullins. 2 to 1 on the morning line. Talk to us about race 9, Michelle.
I like the 1 Honeymoon Suite. She's a super consistent horse. I mean, before the layoff and after the layoff, she's been running similar. So I give her a big thumbs up in here. Him. Honeymoon just sounds so Philly. Oh my gosh, is that not the hunch play too?
And for you, the 10-year wedding anniversary.
Okay, all in then. I'm not even going to play it.
Single.
Yes, that's a single for me. Honeymoon Suite for Mullins. Barrios going to be aboard yet again. Speed from the inside. Lots to like in this nice condition for him. I also like the 9 horse. Who is that? I got a page down to the outside. Double Among Us for Sean Williams, who picked this one up off the claim. A couple starts back, and he was a runaway winner at Los Al, but take those with a grain of salt. It was at Los Alamitos. We don't get as big of a field, and he's just taking on the next condition level. So I like him, but I really think Honeymoon Suite should be the horse in here.
We close out the day and close out the week in race number 10 with the $1 Super High Five, which has the $19,000 carryover. Make sure you get involved, and it's a very good and competitive race. It's for Calbred fillies and mares going 1 mile on the turf course, allowance optional claiming types. Take out the 2 also eligibles. 11 and 12 will not compete. Still leaves us with a field of 10. Number 6, Run a Mile in My Shoes, who was victorious last time on the main track, now coming back to the turf course as a 9 to 5 morning line favorite. Here's your other horse on today's card, Michelle. Number 7, Only Reputation, 8 to 1 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, let's watch the replay of Only Reputation's career debut down at Del Mar. She is going to break from post position number 4. She smokes home late. Let's watch her run to victory at juicy odds of 24 to 1 and listen to Trevor Denman describe the action.
And away they go. Chasing Cat broke away smartly. On the inside, here's Naturally Blonde coming to join them, and now the fence. The fence goes on to lead it. Lovely Idaho in the red cap goes up to race second. They tightly group. Then back to Only Reputation in the blinkers, 4 lengths off the leaders. Bessie Coleman second last, and then Annabelle Smile. Into the turn they go, and the fence has a narrow advantage. Lovely Idaho keeps the pressure on second. Naturally Blonde tucked in third, just waiting for room. Down at the rail, Only Reputation making headway in the white blinkers, and outside of that comes Chasing Cat. They're at the top of the lane. The fence on the inside is hanging on. Lovely Idaho right up alongside. Only Reputation in the white blinkers. Only Reputation now coming strongly in the center. And Only Reputation strikes the front to win, going away. Only Reputation clear. Naturally Blonde.
Michelle, not only did Only Reputation win on debut, but as we watch the runners cross the wire and watch them gallop out, sure looks like Only Reputation wants more ground. She continues to gallop out in front, never really letting any runners go by her. That's certainly a good sign, and I'm sure one of the reasons why you're stretching her out from 5 furlongs to 1 mile. But before we get your thoughts on her, how did you guys actually acquire her? Because when I look in the past performances, there's no purchase price. I don't really know how you guys acquired her.
It's kind of a long and winding story, really. But once upon a time, Olivia wanted to name a horse Rainbow Fire. And one of our owners had said you can, but then didn't like the name that she chose, right? So she was really sad. So Ryan found this filly in a field and named her Rainbow Fire. So we got her to the racetrack, and she was working along, and she was working good, but she would come back so sore after her works. But we x-rayed her. She was fine. Ends up she had white lines disease in her feet. So her feet were like hollow.
Wow.
So that basically to grow out a foot, you're looking at multiple years. So we decided to retire her, and we sent her up to Rancho San Miguel, which were our partners on her. And when she was up there and in full, Tom Clark called, and he was like, hey, I know you like this family. I've got her sister sitting in a paddock. She's an unbroke 3-year-old. Do you guys want to go partners on her?
Unbelievable.
So Ryan said, well, bring her down, because Olivia was sad she didn't have a horse, right? So he brought her down. Olivia named her after Taylor Swift. And we literally got her in March of this year.
Wow.
And she won the race at Del Mar. So
that's what makes horse racing so great, though,
yeah,
right? Stories like that.
And then Olivia has still a share of Rainbow Fire, and she's got a Tom's Tribute on the ground, and she's got a Moforza in the belly. And now we have this lovely Only Reputation Sir Prancelot that was named for Taylor Swift. So Olivia just
and you're a
is
Swiftie.
thrilled.
You guys are
I'm a Swiftie.
Yeah.
Olivia's a Swiftie.
Now, you think she's going to like Two Turns, obviously.
I don't know.
No, you
I honestly don't know.
Okay. I think she's going to like it.
She, pedigree-wise, she should be just fine. Looking at her gallop out, she should be fine. I mean, this is a huge ask for her, right? I singled her because I own her. I have to single her. But I think that Run a Mile in My Shoes has a lot of foundation under her. This filly only had like 3 works when she broke her maiden. I mean, it was like, we need to get the race into her. I didn't necessarily expect her to win. Although I will be fair, Ryan and Emily both said that filly was going to win first time out, but I was the poo-pooer.
And Kaz Kamara gave her a great ride.
Oh my, well, you know what he did?
Inside,
he stayed out of her way. Yeah.
Correct.
And then when she wanted to go, he was like, okay, I'll trust you to go. So yeah, she took him to where she wanted to be. So I thought, he did give her a really great ride. So obviously we'll have to see if she wants to go the 2 turns. It's first time versus winner. She's facing older horses. I mean, there are a lot of hurdles for her. If she just runs a good race, I'll be really happy.
She's got a busy day and evening planned. It's her 10-year anniversary. It's our treat to have her as our seminar guest today. Michelle Yu, thanks so much for your time and insight. Nothing but the best of luck and continued success on celebrating your anniversary another 10 years from now.
Thanks so much.
Keep in mind, 2 other quick housekeeping notes. Coast to Coast Pick 5 today, of course. $1 minimum, low takeout. It begins with Gulfstream Park, race number 8, 1:35 p.m. Pacific time. Also, live racing resumes next Friday. We've got 4 days of racing. That's because next Monday, a week from Monday, is holiday racing. Friday's card has 8 races. We'll kick things off at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That means the seminar starts at 11:50. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Enjoy the afternoon, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we direct your attention to the winner's circle as well as the flagpole in the infield. As we welcome Bucky Hurd, who will perform the Star-Spangled Banner. Las Vegas headliner Bucky Hurd has shared the stage with such artists as Andy Williams, Michael McDonald, the Beach Boys, and many more. In 2016, he joined forces with legendary rock and roll Hall of Fame icon Bill Medley in the revival of the Righteous Brothers, and they currently have a residency at South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas with over 50 road shows scheduled across the country. It is our privilege to welcome Bucky Hurd for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in them, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Lucky Herd, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Santa Anita Park, where the track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf is out 20 feet. Track conditions brought to you by John Deere. Here are the changes. No changes in the first. Start of the early pick 5. Race 2 starts the early pick 4, scratch 7, Golden Temper. Turning to race 3, just the blinker notes. The 4th is the grade 3 Surfer Girl, start of the middle pick 4. No scratches or jockey changes. In the 5th, we start the $2 pick 6. No changes. Race 6, take out the 2 Sweet Gem. The all-turf pick 3 starts with the 6th. Turning to race number 7. No changes. Late pick 4 starts with the 7th. 8th race, late pick 3, $3. Brand new wager this year is the $3 late pick 3. Just blinker notes. In the 9th, started the new $5 late double, no changes. And the 10th has a super high 5 carryover of just under $20,000. There's only one super high 5 a day now. It's on the last race. We should have an enormous pool today in race 10. Take out the 11 and 12. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. 26 minutes to for race 1. 12 minutes to post for the opener. On behalf of everyone here at First Racing, we'd like to welcome you to a beautiful Sunday here at the Great Race Place. Hi, everybody. Peter Lurie alongside my partners today, Miss Jess Pfeiffer and, of course, Miss Millie Ball. Ladies, day 2 of Japan Family Day, and it was kind of a family atmosphere yesterday with those 2-year-olds and some big wins for the Barnes, and congratulations. You and I really like the horse. You, obviously, a lot closer than me, but you got the money.
Yeah, Hang the Moon, really special filly. I've been getting on her for quite a while and always knew she was special, but she's really kind of developed in my dad's barn of Phil D'Amato. He's really kind of taken his time with her, and she likes our training, I think. She likes me.
I think she does. I think she also likes Kaz Kimura.
Yes.
He had a huge day yesterday.
He rode incredible.
Millie, what are you thinking? We got a nice 10-race card here.
Yes,
Obviously, a couple stakes races on the hard, but I thought it was not the easiest of cards. Yesterday looked like a little easier.
Yeah, I felt like they were in the earlier part of the card. You had some obvious horses, in my opinion, short-priced horses that looked to be very obvious. But as you got later through the card, which is when it matters, right? Pick 6, you're trying to play the pick 6. That's when it started to get tricky. So I think there's going to be a lot of value in the second half of the card.
All right, let's talk about this first race coming up. Started the pick 527,000 in. We have a work courtesy of our partners over at XP TV. It concerns the 7-horse here, Millie, the John Sadler trained News at 10.
Yes, John has 2 in here, but I chose this work for News at 10, who is on the outside in this particular work and just really nicely sitting off the company. I think that's important to see how a horse handles, the stalking style. This is a horse that has shown some zip. I'm just not sure how much stick there is to this horse. So News at 10, working here, is going to finish up on the outside of the old 9, and the reins just shaken, responds a little bit. You see a bit of flagging of the whip there, and finishes up equally with the old 9. So I thought it was a decent work. In this situation with the race, who is the speed, Jesse? That, to me, was the hardest question of anything in this race.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult in here. I think News at 10 is probably going to be the speed, maybe the horse right outside of him, but also a John Sadler in the number 8 Central Dispatch. So I'm thinking John Sadler is going to give instructions to one of them to go, or maybe for News at 10, since he's on the inside of Central Dispatch, to go, and Central Dispatch can kind of sit off of him. But I also like that work. I think it's especially important because he ran not very good last time, so it's important to see him come back, work well, and I just think mile probably wasn't his thing. I think he's going to be a lot better shortening back up.
News at 10 to me is, I see it the way you guys are seeing it. In fact, I'm going to try to beat both of them with the 4 Oscar Joy. We'll get there in a moment. There is speed, and obviously it's owned by the same group, Hronis Racing, the Hronis family. So nobody's going to compromise the other. The question I have, and Jesse, I'm going to throw this one back to you. Obviously, News at 10, we saw the mile, and it wasn't to their liking, although for me, 6.5 furlongs down the hillside, usually the milers get that and vice versa. Central Dispatch has never done either, although is really bred for it. Would you almost give them a slight advantage?
Yeah, and I think that this is kind of a horse who I think can kind of get to the lead and kind of go by himself and kind of just shake loose a little bit at the top of the stretch. I think if he does that, they might not be able to catch him. But like I said, we just don't know about the distance yet.
I think it's more a question of the turf, actually. I mean, I don't Arrogate, who's by Unbridled Song. I don't see much turf there. 5-star Day. Eve Giselle never raced on turf, but she has produced a couple of turf winners. But that was the only turf, really, pedigree that I could find in there. So I thought it was a big question with the turf. And the other horse I had a big question mark by was I Don't Get It, who was 7-2 on the morning line. This is another horse that's trying grass for the first time. At least this horse comes in good form, but not strong turf pedigree either, by Cloud Computing out of a flat-out mare.
If Oscar Joy, the 4-horse, gets the pace that I believe they're going to get, I think the 2-1 is more than fair. But this is a very interesting race. And if you're playing the pick 5, there was no way I was singling anybody.
Yeah, I had the number 4 on top as well.
Yeah, John Liviakis, he really can breed a good horse. And I think it is a 3-year-old going against Olders.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing that Oscar Joy has to prove to me.
Horses are coming out on the track. We'll also be joined by Zoe Cadman down in the ring, and of course Michelle Yu out at the gate. On behalf of everyone here at First Racing, we'd like to welcome you to day 2 of Japan Family Day here at Santa Anita.
Jay Cohen calls him onto the track for the first race. Start of the early pick 5. Post time is in 6 minutes.
Peter Miller has the 4. Oscar Joy enjoying some water there as well. Pete, Oscar Joy, one question. How much did that cost her the trouble last time out, him?
You know, I think it definitely cost him. He's kind of caused his own trouble. A little bit of a rank horse, a little difficult to ride. So we've cut his blinkers back a little bit and switched to Australian ring bit from a regular ring bit. And hopefully that gives him a little more manageability.
What's the difference between Australian and regular? I'm going to learn something here now.
Well, the Australian, we have different names for it in the U.S., a cage bit, something else, but it's got a little bit more leverage on the horse than a regular ring bit does. So it's just got a different shape, and it lays different in their mouth, and it puts a little bit of pressure under the jaw compared to a ring bit.
Thanks for your time and education, Pete Miller.
You're welcome.
Just one more thing to add, guys. Pete trains the 4, Oscar Joy. One note on the 3, Simplexity, who got the Avian Law Best turned out, looks absolutely terrific. Speaking to trainer Dan Backer, said the horse